Welcome to We Hear Her. I am Erin Trenbeth Murray.
And I am Jennifer Bean.
We're here today with another amazing woman who's sharing her story and insights to lessons learned.
Hello, everyone. I am here today with Sheridan Mordue, owner of Hip&Humble, which is one of my very favorite girly shops to stop into.
Oh, good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So tell me, let's just jump right into it. Tell me about deciding to open Hip&Humble. First of all, I want to know how the name, I think the name is so clever. And I want to know how you landed on this one.
My gosh, this is the question I am always asked.
Really?
Yes.
Everybody loves it as much as I do.
They do. And I have been trying to dream up an amazing story to go with this amazing question.
You could do it right here, right now.
But honestly, so Hip&Humble opened 23 years ago. And it was my sister and I that opened it.
Okay.
And we wanted to open a furniture shop, and it was in a sugar house.
Okay.
And the name was really the last piece of the puzzle, and we could not come up with a name. We just could not land on anything. And as I remember it, we got in a car to kind of get away from everything, and we brought a huge stack of magazines with us. And we would just take turns driving, and the other person would just be flipping through magazines.
Actually, I think this is a great story.
Do you?
Yes, I love this.
Oh, good.
I didn't even know that it was with your sister originally.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's exciting. I'm a sister too.
Oh, you are?
Yes.
Yeah, sisters are the best.
They really are.
Yeah.
So this one sister, older or younger?
She's older than me.
Okay. And is she still involved in the business?
She is not.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so I kind of took you away from
That's
your
okay.
story, but you're flipping through magazines, switching off who's in the driver's seat.
Yes, and just trying to, read through articles and just come up with words. And so we were just spilling words that we were reading. And it just kind of started to come together, this Hip&Humble. And it worked out really great because our concept was mixing new modern furniture with eclectic vintage pieces. And it just came together. I look back on the name now, and it was a brilliant move. I mean, at the time we didn't know.
Like, I am so smart.
Yeah, seriously. But what has happened is the store has really evolved over the years. Yeah. If you can't come into Hip&Humble now, I don't sell furniture.
That's what I was going to say. I didn't even know. I'm like, wow, I missed that.
Yeah, we do not even sell furniture. And that's all we started with, was custom furniture. Big armoires, beds, sofas, everything. And now we're really known as the go-to gift shop in Salt Lake.
Absolutely.
100%.
Darling boutique.
Yep.
Darling boutique. You got to go.
Definitely. And so it was kind of brilliant that we came up with that name, because it didn't pigeonhole us. We weren't, Leather Sofas Incorporated, And so this business has been able to really have a life and a dream all of its own. So I've been really grateful for that moment, to be honest.
Well, I have to tell you, I think it was a brilliant move, because it also seems to represent and describe you very well.
Oh, thank you.
I've only met you a couple of times.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, every time Erin and I reconvene after you've been amongst us, we're like, her haircut is so her haircut is so darling. And then Erin's like, the bangs, should I do bangs? And then I'm like, her jewelry, did you see her jewelry? And we're like, she's hip. And then you just sit here and smile and act like it's, that it wasn't a life-changing experience for you.
Yeah.
How has it been, building a small business? Because I realized that you have expanded beyond your little house that I love to frequent.
Yeah. We're definitely in a growth mode right now. And I'm just, honestly, like, I have to pinch myself sometimes, because my vision of my life as like a teenager or even in college was honestly being a small business owner.
Really?
Yes.
I like knowing that.
I come from, I'm a legacy of entrepreneurs. And so it wasn't even that, I don't even think I had a choice what I was going to do.
You're like, this is what I know, this is what I'll do.
Exactly. And so my vision was a small business owner. You know, small family, living in a small home with my beat up, you know, station wagon.
Small.
That's just, and it was very quaint and a beautiful life. And as I have grown my business, I literally pinch myself because I have been given so many opportunities, and I'm so excited for where I'm at in my career. I'm excited about my business. I love it. I love the people that work for me. I love all the people that I work with.
Yeah.
And so I'm just really grateful is kind of what it comes down to.
Tell me about one of those, you know, change-making opportunities that you said yes to. And why was it so impactful?
Man, you know, I don't know if I've ever had some big moment in my life, but I will say that I'm very open to change, and I'm very open to ideas. And how I make decisions is through my heart and through my gut. I rarely will study the pros and cons. I'll rarely look at the numbers. You know, I mean, I do a little bit, but honestly, it's how does this make me feel? What does this feel inside? Does it feel good or does it feel heavy? You know, recently, so this was probably 4 or 5 years ago, the plans for the Salt Lake International Airport came out. And I had a lot of people knocking on my door to get me to go into the airport. And I had no idea what this business was. I you know, like the airport, you know?
It's a boutique.
Yeah, totally. And there's all of these people, like the city was coming to me saying, hey, we really want you to submit for this RFP. And then I had a big, airport retailers coming to me and asking the same thing. And there was one particular group that kind of just got underneath my skin a little bit. And I just was like, you know, I remember coming home one day from meeting with them, and it was really early on. And I came home to my husband, and I had like their business card with me, and I just set it on the counter, and I'm like, I have no idea what this airport thing is that all these people are talking to me about, but I'm just going to go with it. And when it says no, I'm going to get out. And he said, great.
Good plan.
Totally. And I just kept walking down the path. And there was never anything that said, no, don't do this.
Not a good idea.
Yeah. And I just always went into every meeting, you know, just myself and no expectations. I went in probably really naive in the sense that I wasn't trying to show myself off. I was like kind of dumb, really.
like was I supposed to prepare for this?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you know, it ended up with this great contract at the Salt Lake City Airport. And then after we submitted our proposal, they came back to us and said, or came back to me and said, do you think the airport could support 2 stores? And I was like, yes, we can. And
right here.
Exactly. And so we went for it, and it has been a great opportunity for me. It's been a great opportunity for my brand, for me personally, for my career. And I think that's how I have managed a lot of decisions or big, impactful moments in my career, is just walking down the path more than saying, is this good or bad, or looking for even an opportunity, but just being open to a path. Right. I guess that's what the answer is, open to a path.
I like that. And honestly, that is the spirit of a true entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Right?
I guess. I don't know.
Open and willing. I don't know either, but that's what I hear. And I think it's so interesting because I just got done having a conversation with someone who said that sometimes the most impactful thing you can do is just say yes.
Yeah.
And really not create those roadblocks for yourself.
Absolutely.
Before they're even there.
Right. I think that is so true. I think it's easy for us, and I think for myself, it's easy for me to say, oh, I'm not good enough for that. I'm not smart enough. And especially I think for me, A, being female, B, being a small business owner, I underestimate my contribution to
yes.
a greater good, my contribution to our community. I underestimate myself all the time. And so my roadblock that I usually put up is, I'm not good enough.
Yes.
And so changing those words to just being open. I do not have the ability to say, I am good enough. I don't have that. But
What self-awareness, though.
But
really.
just being open, I think is a big one for people. If you don't have that, huge confidence to really say, oh, I can do this, but just to be open, I think it can be life-changing.
Right, just those small things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that you say, I have underestimated the contribution that you can offer. It's one thing that I've personally been challenged with myself.
Yeah.
Actually, is thinking that it'd probably be easier for everyone else if I agreed and maybe stayed a little quiet and
Absolutely.
just was a listener.
Mm-hmm.
And I've gone through a few life-changing moments in the past couple of years. And one thing that I have committed to, and it's one of those small things that I'm seeing make a huge difference, is that I commit not to a list of 10 things that I need to do that day, but my only goal is really to add value wherever I show up.
Absolutely.
And that oftentimes means offering input, giving feedback, even if it would be easier to say, you know what, you're doing great. Keep going.
Do more of that.
Do more of that. Yeah. So I love that you have that awareness. The other thing I want to ask you a little bit more about, because I think they go so well hand in hand, we often can combat not feeling good enough by turning to gratitude and having that be the sort of the antidote to I am good enough and I'm grateful for all of these things that I can, that I can.
You
see
follow Brene Brown, it sounds like.
I do. It's why I love this podcast. I might be Brene Brown someday.
I love it.
Vulnerability, shame, courage. I know it.
But it's interesting though. The reason why Brene Brown is so popular is because these things resonate, and they particularly resonate with women. We carry these burdens of shame, not feeling worthy. We carry these burdens. I think it's a very common feeling for women.
Yes.
And that's why she has struck a chord. Is we're now talking about what this is.
Yes.
But you look at like how our society has been kind of created. Of course we feel this way.
Right.
Of course we feel this way. Of course we feel like we're not good enough.
And it's not my fault that I feel this way. It's
totally.
It's legitimate.
It's legitimate.
Yeah,
it's
and
legitimate.
I love that we're talking about it. And I want to know, what are you most grateful for when you wake up in the morning? And maybe those top 5 things that hit your list every time. I say my 3 sugar beans. Those are my kids. I'm always grateful for my job. And that encompasses a lot, right?
Yeah.
My ability to do it, the value that I can add, the fact that other people see and hear me.
Right, absolutely.
And that I feel valued.
Yeah.
So do some of those things ring true for you?
Yes, absolutely. I think that it's hard to be successful or have meaning or purpose if you don't find some gratefulness within your own home.
Yeah.
Whatever that is. Honestly, during COVID, I was most grateful for my dog. and because she brought me joy.
Yeah.
In a time when my kids, my husband, myself, we were sad, we were depressed, we were locked in our home. I had this little dog that I could take out on walks, and she was so joyful, and I was just so grateful.
And you got to watch that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that is something that is in my home that I think finding that gratitude within our house it allows us.
I like that.
Yeah.
Because that means you can go back and access that.
Absolutely.
When you need to.
Absolutely. It gives you so much stability, so much support. I know that my family loves me. I know my kids love me. Yeah. I love them. I adore them. My husband, he has my back. And so what I'm doing during the day without them, I know they're going to love me regardless of what happens, which empowers me.
Right. It makes life not quite so scary, right?
Absolutely.
When you know you have those people to go back to
Absolutely.
every day.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's a big deal. So being grateful for what's in your home, I think, is a huge deal as far as success.
Yeah. What are some other things that you look back on and realize that they brought you the success that you are hanging on to right now and creating and growing?
You know, one thing over the years, and sometimes I tear up over this, I am so grateful for my clients. They have changed my business more than anyone else. Because I listen to them. I mean, you know, they're telling me with their dollars, like what they want, what they need.
Right.
And so I'm really grateful for them to be supportive of me, to be with me through all of the changes, all of whatever we're doing. So I'm really grateful for my clients, for sure.
I love that.
Yeah. And I'm really grateful for our community. You know, they, again, just super supportive. You know, I think it goes both ways. I think I have to give to my community too.
Yeah.
But
and that was so apparent with the airport thing.
Absolutely.
To have people calling you out and saying, we need you, we want you. We want two of you.
Yeah, I was flabbergasted by that, honestly. I was just overwhelmed. I was very humbled by that, actually, that people thought so highly of my business or my concept and me to be able to do it. You definitely have to have some acumen, some business acumen to do that kind of work. And I was humbled that they thought I could do it, you know?
Yeah.
So
maybe another example of how you realized you had underestimated.
Oh, absolutely.
Your value and your reach and your impact on others.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure underestimated. And I also underestimated my abilities. I mean, just my abilities as the owner, CEO of my company, like completely underestimated my knowledge, right?
You sometimes just go home and be like, I'm just mom, I'm just Sheridan.
Oh, totally.
I mean, I'm no huge rock star. I'll let you in on the secret.
Totally.
It's just me here.
It is. That's exactly. I'm sweeping the floor, you know.
Right.
I'm just
cleaning your own bathroom, making your own bed.
Yeah, it's just me. So.
Oh, I love that. What is it that you want people to say about you? How do you think they'll describe you if you're not in the room?
Oh my gosh. That is a really hard question. I really don't have a great gauge on how people think of me or how they feel about me. But I would hope that I could be inspiring to people. I hope that women could look at me and say, oh, wow, you know, I love to hear her talk. I love to hear what she has to say. She's inspiring. Yeah, she's inspiring to me. I would love that. I'll never be funny. I'm not a funny person.
Are you kidding? I have laughed here with you in this like 15 minutes. You're funny. You have underestimated your humor.
Maybe so. I don't know. I think inspiring is maybe my biggest one. Probably another thing that I've never thought of myself as, and this is actually a new thing I just learned recently. Yeah. And I'm sure that people will be like, what are you even talking about? But it's true because we don't see ourselves. But I am a creator and I'm creative. And I've never really thought of myself as that. Yes.
That is shocking to me.
I know.
Because that probably would have made my top 5 if I were to describe you.
Oh, totally. And I think you're exactly, I think people would all say that, like it'd be in their top 3 maybe, you know?
Yeah.
But for me, I've never really thought of myself as that. And I think it's because that part of me is my natural, it's just me. And so I never look at that and say, oh, I'm so creative. You know, it's just what I do, you know?
And then all those people like me who aren't creative were like, she doesn't even know.
Yeah, I don't. I have no idea. So this is a new one for me. So I mean, you know, I'm really proud of being creative now. And so if people say, "Oh, she's inspiring and she's creative," I'd be like, "Oh, that's good enough."
Yeah, you're like, I'll I'll just take that. I'll take that one thing.
I will.
Oh, Sheridan, it has been so wonderful to get to know you a little bit better this morning.
It's been great to talk.
And thank you for reminding us not to underestimate ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Brilliant.
Thank you for taking time to hear her. Join our efforts and learn more at womenwhosucceed.org. A big thank you to our sponsor, the Clark and Christine Ivory Foundation.